There's a person you've probably met. Something goes wrong, a pipe bursts, a car dies, a project collapses at midnight, and while everyone else is spiraling, they just go quiet for a second. Then they start moving. No shaking hands, no catastrophizing, no frantic Googling. Just calm, deliberate action. And standing next to them, you wonder, what is wrong with me? Here's the truth, nothing is wrong with you. But something very specific is different about them, and once you understand what it is, you'll see it everywhere. It's not experience. It's a belief. In the late 1970s, psychologist Albert Bandura identified something deceptively simple: self-efficacy. Strip away the academic language and it means this: your belief that you are capable of handling what's in front of you. Not blind optimism. Not arrogance. Something far more precise: I have handled things before, and this thing is handleable. That single belief, Bandura found, dramatically changes how long a person persists before giving up and how much effort they invest when things get hard. It's the psychological engine behind every person who seems unshakable. Where it actually comes from. Think about the first time a child tries to fix something, really tries, and it works. They wiggle a wire. The lamp turns on. They press a wound. The bleeding slows. They reboot the computer. It starts up. That tiny moment does something profound. It rewires how that child relates to the entire world. Suddenly, reality isn't just happening to them. It's something they can reach into and change. Every broken thing after that registers not as a threat, but as a puzzle, and their nervous system says, I've solved puzzles before. Bandura called these mastery experiences, and research consistently ranks them as the single most powerful builder of self-efficacy. Not being told you're capable. Not watching someone else do it. Actually doing it yourself. That's what sticks. The hidden variable: who controls your outcomes? Psychologist Julian Rotter spent years studying what he called locus of control, the degree to which you believe your own actions determine your outcomes, rather than luck, fate, or other people. People on the internal end of that scale don't just fix things better. They're less likely to develop depression. They cope with stress without dismantling their lives. They persist longer under pressure. Across cultures, across age groups, the research is consistent. Believing your effort actually matters is one of the most protective psychological traits a human being can have. And most of these people weren't born this way. It started in specific childhood moments where someone either handed them agency, I'm not going to tell you the answer, I'm going to help you figure it out, or left them no choice but to find it themselves. Two very different paths leading to the exact same destination. The surprising secret: they're not certain either. Here's what will genuinely surprise you about the calm person in a crisis. They're not certain everything will work out. They don't carry some invisible guarantee. They feel the same uncertainty you feel. What's different is that uncertainty doesn't feel like a verdict to them, it feels like a starting point. This is called tolerance of ambiguity, the ability to sit inside an unresolved situation without falling apart while you work through it. People who struggle with ambiguity need reassurance immediately. They need to know it's going to be okay right now. When they can't get that, anxiety floods in, and they either freeze or quietly hand the problem to whoever looks calmest and back away slowly. The fixer? Somewhere along the way, they learn to be comfortable in that uncomfortable in-between space. That's the entire skill. The dark side nobody talks about. Here's where honesty matters. Some people who can fix everything emotionally, practically, logistically, aren't operating from strength. They learned to fix things because the solution was how they earned their place. Standing helpless was, at some point in their lives, genuinely unsafe. So their nervous system decided, I will never be helpless again. That's not a superpower. That's a coping mechanism wearing one. The tell? Ask them to let someone else handle something. They physically cannot relax. They hover. They offer suggestions nobody asked for. An unfixed thing in the room feels like an unfixed thing inside of them. Then there's the other kind, and this one is worth everything. The person who fixes things out of pure curiosity. Because broken things fascinate them. The gap between not working and working is one of the most interesting places in the world to them. They'll dismantle something they already fixed just to understand it better. They'll explain what went wrong in extraordinary detail, delighted, like they just discovered something beautiful. These are people who fell in love with competence itself. Not the outcome. The process. The figuring out. Being around them recalibrates you because what they model, without even trying, is this: not knowing is just a temporary state. Broken is not permanent. You can put your hands on a problem and actually move it. This can be built, starting small. Maybe you're reading this and recognizing yourself as the fixer. Or maybe you're realizing you're not, and the idea of being this way feels completely foreign. If it's the second one, hear this clearly: the reason you outsource your broken things isn't a character flaw. It's a history. A set of experiences that taught you problems are things that happen to you, rather than things you happen to. And that history isn't a life sentence. Bandura's entire argument is that self-efficacy builds through experience. Not grand heroic moments, tiny ones. You tightened the screw. You made the call you kept avoiding. You didn't wait for someone to rescue you, just this once. That's where it starts. One small act of not backing away. If this shifted something for you, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more content that actually explains the psychology behind why we think and behave the way we do. The next one might be the piece that finally makes something click.